skin of many people, but there's also a lot of them who actually talk a lot of sense and have some really good ball knowledge and contribute a lot. Now, when I'm talking about a football pundit, essentially I mean somebody who is on either pre or post match analysis of games, or on like a show, like a highlight show, who does analysis like Match of the Day or something like that. Now I've selected the sort of main people, at least in the UK, because obviously I live in the UK. The main people who do punditry in the UK as regulars, really. Obviously, a lot of people sort of dip their toe in here and there, but I've just gone for like the main guys. I'm going to rank them based on my personal preference. So I've got some tiers here. We've got could watch them all day for pundits who I can listen to them all day. I really like them. A good pundit, on average one. Not for me, a pundit who I just personally don't really like. And turn the DUV off, where if I see they're on TV, I'm literally pressing the mute button or turning the TV off. So let me know who you guys really like or dislike as football pundits. But yeah, this is going to be a bit of a different video today, so let's get into it now. We'll begin here. I've got a whole bunch of them, so we've got Dion Dublin to begin with. Dion Dublin. So Dion Dublin, former Premier League player, and he usually appears for BBC, working on like Match of the Day, stuff like that. He does a bit of commentary too. Now Dion Dublin, for me, I actually think average is probably about right for Dion Dublin. I don't think he's like overtly got too much charisma, but he's not exactly like boring when you listen to him speak. His, I guess, knowledge of the game is again fairly average. He does know what he's talking about, but I wouldn't say, I listen to Dion Dublin and I'm like, wow. So yeah, I think he's a pretty average pundit. If he's on one of the games, I'm not gonna be like, oh, Dion Dublin's there. But either way, I'm also not gonna be like, oh yes, Dion Dublin's here, so I'm definitely listening, right? So I think Dion Dublin's a pretty average pundit. Next up, we have Michael Owen, and I'm not gonna lie, turn the TV off. Look, Michael Owen was a fantastic player in his day, but as a pundit, I mean, some of the stuff he says is just absolutely outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. I feel like he's also, he mainly works with BT, but I feel like he has a very sort of English-centric punditry bias. Like he absolutely, because BT do the Champions League games, right? He's always just talking about the English clubs and hyping them up, compared to the foreign clubs. I remember when I think it was like Manchester City Real Madrid beat Manchester City, and he was like, oh yeah, Manchester City is still the best team in the world. And I'm like, oh my days, man, this guy is so like obsessed with English teams and there's so much bias towards them. But yeah, Michael Owen as well. I mean, he doesn't exactly have a load of charisma either. He doesn't have the best ball knowledge at all. Turn the TV off for me. Right, next up we have Gary Neville. Someone who I think divides a lot of opinion. Now, look, for me, I'm not Gary Neville's biggest fan. I'm not his biggest fan. But I do respect that he is a good pundit. Personally, I couldn't watch him all day. I do think, I don't find him like thrilling to watch, I guess. And I think he has good analysis, but I wouldn't say it's amazing analysis of teams. But he is a good pundit. he is a good pundit. He knows what he is talking about. I mean, even if he is a failed manager, right? He still, when he analyzes stuff, he does well. But to be honest, I don't really watch Neville for that sort of tactical aspect. The reason I like or listen to Gary Neville is I like when he sort of goes into those in-depth conversations about, like usually Man United, about like what's going wrong at United, talking about the culture, the manager and stuff. I think he has sensible takes when it comes to that tactical side. I don't really want to listen to him too much about it. But yeah, I'm not his biggest fan, but I can respect he's a good pundit, isn't he? Owen Hargreaves. You know what? I'm actually going to say Owen Hargreaves is a good pundit. I actually really like Owen Hargreaves. He's kind of the opposite of Michael Owen, where Owen Hargreaves actually does and understand a lot about European football and continental football. You can tell when you listen to him. He clearly watches other leagues around Europe and other teams, and he always gives some respect when he's talking about them. He does not have a English club bias. He will respect those clubs. I remember him talking a lot about like Serie A. I think he watches quite a bit like Atalanta. He's always talking about them, and I really respect that. I think he has sensible takes. He never says anything too outlandish, and yeah, I really like him due to the fact that you can tell he definitely watches football outside of the Premier League, which is good to have when you're working on BT or TNT Sports on the Champions League. Right, Karen Kearney, I'm not gonna lie, turn the TV off. Actually, you know what, she's not that bad, not for me. I don't think takes are very good. I don't particularly think she adds too much in terms of like to a broadcast. Like her analysis, I don't think she gives any sort of analysis, which is something I didn't really already know before. But to be fair, I mean, she's not like horrific. I can pull up with listening to her on the TV. So yeah, not for me. I'm not a biggest fan of her, but I wouldn't say like she's absolute garbage. Next up we have Peter Crouch, and you know what? I could watch Peter Crouch all day. There's a couple in here where, there may be a bit more of like sort of vibes than like tactics, and Crouch is sort of, I think, a good medium between. He's somebody who brings the banter, he brings the jokes, the laughs, the vibes, but he also can be serious and give like a decent analysis of a team. So yeah, I think he has a lot of character, a lot of charisma. I think he's quite entertaining when he's talking. He's a good talker, but as I said, when he needs to, I think he can be a professional and give some serious takes. So purely, I think because he's quite entertaining, I could watch Peter Crouch all day. Graham Souness, on the other hand, not for me. I mean, I actually think like he doesn't have like the worst knowledge in the world. Like he's not that bad in terms of his ball knowledge, but I mean some of the stuff he says are really bad, really bad. And like his whole like agenda against like Pogba, and yeah, I mean I don't mind watching Souness every now and then, like especially when Souness goes into a rant, it's quite entertaining. But overall, I would say his takes, he can have some really bad ones, and overall I'd rather just not watch Graham Souness, to be honest. But yeah. Next up we have Alex Scott. Now, this is a bit of a weird one because I have to distinguish between being a presenter and being a pundit. As a presenter, Alex Scott is actually really good. She would be here. Think Alex Scott when she presents like Match of the Day or like Football Focus. She's pretty good. She's pretty good at presenting. But as a pundit, where it's more about like your analysis and stuff, yeah. I don't particularly think that's a strong point, but I think she's really, really good at presenting. I think she's really good at presenting, but if she's like one of the pundits, yeah, I'm probably not watching her, to be honest. Danny Murphy. Danny Murphy for me is quite average. He's quite average. I think he's a bit. He's very mid. He's a bit bland. He's a bit boring. But kind of like Dion Dublin. I don't think I've ever heard Danny Murphy say an outrageous take. But I've never also listened to Danny Murphy and been like, wow, I've just learned something incredible here. He's pretty mid. He's pretty mid. Okay, Daniel Sturridge. Another pundit who sort of divides a lot of opinion. A more recent one now. He is one of those. Well, I was talking about Crouch, where he is purely here for the vibes, for the character, for the laughs. And you know what? Just for that, I'm gonna say good pundit. In terms of like actual ball knowledge and like insights, turn the TV off. But you need some of those pundits who have a bit of source, have a bit of character, a bit of personality to them. I know some people, find it unbearable, but for me, I don't mind it. As I said, you need some. I think it's a good blend when you have them with a couple more like serious, stoic type pundits. You get him in there to just add a bit of personality, a bit of jokes, a bit of laughter. I think you need that, so for that reason I think he's a good pundit. Jamie Carragher, again, just like Gary Neville, sort of splits opinion. You know what? I, personally speaking, I actually really do like Carragher. I could watch Carragher all day. I prefer him to Gary Neville. I think Jamie Carragher, the reason also is because I think him and Neville have sort of like similar ball knowledge. Again, I don't really watch Carragher for the tactical breakdown, although he does do pretty well when he does Monday Night Football. His tactical breakdowns are pretty decent. I mainly watch him for those debates, those long sort of talks, where he breaks down a situation at club, at United, debates and Neville on that. I like it. I also really like Carragher. The reason as well is because when he goes on CBS with Thierry Henry, Mike Richards, you can see his character a bit more. He has a bit more of a personality than Gary Neville. He can be quite funny as well. So yeah, I personally could watch Carragher all day. I think he's got a good blend of being a bit of a joker, really good insights, really good debates. Can do commentary as well. I think he's a good pundit all round. Thierry Henry, another good pundit. I'm not gonna quite say could watch him all day. Actually, I could watch Henry all day. I mean, I don't really watch him too much now because he's mainly on CBS, which is in America. Obviously, I live in the UK, but when I see the clips, again, he's got some banter, he's got some jokes, but he also has very good insights. Obviously, such a good player. And I remember when he was on Sky Sports, he was very, very good to watch as a pundit because you could clearly tell he knew what he was talking about. And yeah, I think he's also got some jokes, got good chemistry with Carragher and Micah Richards and stuff. He's also got that sort of like suave and aura about him, which is really, really nice to see. So yeah, I could watch Henry all day. Alan Shearer, I think is a good pundit. I think Alan Shearer is pretty decent, decent takes, decent knowledge of the game. When he analyses stuff on Match of the Day, I think he's alright, like he's decent. He's by no means like a tactical genius, but I do watch some of his stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah, not bad analysis there, not bad analysis. So yeah, I think it's a good pundit. Got a bit of personality about him, but not too much. Ali McCoist. Now, Ali McCoist, I actually really, really like as a commentator. I could watch him all day. As a commentator, like a co-commentator, he's amazing because, he's always like adding a bit of like passion to the game. However, as an his analysis for games are okay, but they're not amazing. But as I said, I prefer him on Go-Com rather than as a pundit. Paul Merson turned the TV off, I'm not gonna lie. Turned the TV off. Some of the stuff Paul Merson says is just absolutely outrageous. He's got a good personality, like he's very entertaining to watch. But, I mean, in terms of the ball knowledge is just absolutely out the park with Paul Merson. I mean, it's absolutely horrific. But, you know, as I said, I understand why people are watching because he is kind of entertaining. Michael Richards, I could watch him all day, easily. Yeah, just brings so much jokes, brings the character, brings the vibes, brings the laughs, the banter, but then he can also switch it and be a bit more serious. He can also provide some decent analysis too. I like again, you know, when he gets involved in those debates with Neville on CBS as well, same thing, you know, got the jokes, got the laughs. He's got the perfect blend. I could watch Micah all day. Okay, Enya Lugo, yeah, turn the TV off. Some of the stuff she has said is absolutely outrageous. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you just type in like a Lugo, like worst takes, you'll probably see like a 2-minute YouTube compilation of some of the worst takes she said. She said some horror takes. Yeah, the ball knowledge is awful. But Robbie Savage turned the TV off. I can't lie. Now, as a commentator, he's not bad. Again, sort of like the Ali McCoy Steve, adds a bit of passion, which is nice. But as a pundit, yeah, I'm turning that TV off right away. There's no way I'm listening to Robbie Savage analyse a game. No chance. He has no ball knowledge whatsoever. Martin Keogh, you know what? I actually like Martin Keogh. I think he's a good pundit. I really like him on Go-Com. I think as a co-commentator, he's really good. As a pundit, he's decent. You know, decent analysis of games in terms of tactics and stuff. Yeah, I mean, he's not the most entertaining and he's a bit boring, but still, yeah, I think he's a good pundit. Ian Wright, I can listen to Ian Wright all day long. Ian Wright, again, all of these guys have it in common, where they have the perfect blend, where they understand the game, they can analyse the game very well, and be serious when they need to, but then they can also, when they want to, have a joke, have a laugh, have a bit of banter. They bring a bit of personality, bring a bit of character to the screen, which is exactly what you want to see. Ian Wright does that, and yeah, Ian Wright, I can listen to him all day long. Glenn Hoddle. Now Glenn Hoddle, as a co-commentator, would be, I can listen to him all day. I really like him on co-commentary. As a pundit, I think he's pretty average. Like, he's okay, he's alright, but I think when he's an actual pundit, you know, sitting in a studio, he's not amazing, but he's not bad. Like, yeah, he's pretty average. I prefer him much more on commentary than as a pundit, though. Joe Cole, for me, is a good pundit. He's a good pundit. I don't think he's quite good watch him all day, because I think his ball knowledge and tactical knowledge is a little bit limited, but he has a fantastic personality, fantastic character, likes a bit of a joke too. Yeah, as I said, his ball knowledge is a bit limited. Like, it's okay, but it's not amazing, which is why, you know, sometimes I can't really listen to him all day, because I'm like, okay, some of the stuff you're saying is pretty basic here, but I like his personality, I like his vibe. Yeah, good pundit. Jamie Redknapp, you know what, personally speaking, I'm not really a fan of Jamie Redknapp. I'm not really a fan. I think that's, well, as a pundit, I'm not really a fan. I don't know if you guys have watched that show, with like Ramesh and Jamie, where he's on it. He's actually really funny, got lots of jokes there, but I don't really see that when he works as a pundit. I don't know why. like, I barely see his character's personality when he works as a pundit, and his ball knowledge is decent, but it's not really good enough to, propel him into a good pundit role, or even an average. And without his personality really shining through, he's not for me. He's not for me. Okay, Roy Keane. Oh boy, I could listen to Roy Keane all day long. I mean, this guy, he is the definition of entertaining. The amount of meltdowns, the rage he has, the way he just has no filter at all, is absolutely hilarious. It's pure comedy, pure comedy. The way that he'll be just fuming or going into people, at half time when like a team, some players made an error and he just absolutely grills them. It's so good. It's so good. I mean, his actual ball knowledge is okay, but it's just the way he absolutely goes in on players. It's just hilarious, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Rio Ferdinand. Now Rio used to be, I could watch him all day. I used to really like Rio Ferdinand, but I think he's sort of dropped off, and I'm gonna say he's a good pundit. He's still a good pundit. But I don't know what it is. I feel like Rio nowadays is a little less. I think he tries to be a bit more like. He tries to really show out his personality nowadays, whereas before, like, he was a bit more calmer, and I kind of preferred that with Rio, because his ball knowledge is actually decent. Like, he does his analysis and he's alright, but I feel like nowadays his character is sort of, I don't know, it almost feels forced. It almost feels like he's really trying to be out there, be funny, whereas before it was just natural. It sort of happened. When it was the amount of like iconic lines he has, with the Ollie sign the paper, give him a contract, and then the Messi and Ronaldo that you can't compare. Like, that was peak Rio, but nowadays, like, you don't really see too many of that anymore. So yeah, I'll say he's a good pundit though still. Jermaine Genius. Now listen, only certain man know about the coin, and simply for the coin, if you know what I'm on about, only certain man know what I'm on about. Turning the TV off for chasing the coin. Okay, next up, we have Steve McManaman. I actually really like Steve McManaman. I think he's a good pundit. I really do. I think, kind of similar to Owen Hargreaves, he is another one of those pundits who work on BT, who you can tell respects European teams. He doesn't have an English bias. He gives plenty of respect to European sides, and he analyses them properly. He will say when they're better than other sides, and you can tell again he does watch some, and I respect that about him, because not a lot of pundits do that, so I think he's a good pundit. Ignore this, I actually imported one of my thumbnails into this, but check that video out if you haven't. Anyways, Gabby Abongla, I mean, jeez, turn that TV off. No way you're catching me listening to Gabby Abongla. I mean, that guy has some of the worst ball knowledge I've ever seen. I feel like with him though, at least I hope, I feel like some of his takes he like purposefully makes awful to sort of get clicks and stuff, because if this guy genuinely believes some of the stuff he says, oh boy, I really worry. I don't know how he made it as a professional footballer with knowledge like that. And finally you have Gary Lineker. Now, Gary Lineker is more so a presenter, but I feel like nowadays he sort of dips his toe into like offering his insights a bit more, and I think his insights are pretty average, to be honest. I think they're pretty average. Like, I mean, as a presenter, Gary Lineker is very good, but as like an actual pundit and someone who analyses games and stuff, I think he's okay, but not amazing. Right, so that is my tier list. If I had to pick one out of these who I think is my favourite pundit, oh, that's tough. That is tough. That is really tough. money. If I want like actual insight, I'm probably going Jamie Carragher. And then for the balance, it's probably Micah Richards if I want a bit of balance. So yeah, that is my tier list of football pundits. Let me know your tier list and who you like as pundits. But if you have enjoyed this video, please leave a